Good afternoon. So I'm here with my Umarex Tornado. This is a smooth bore. It's a BB shooter, but it can also shoot pellets with the right magazine, which is the 357 Python magazine from Umarex. So they're alloy, the pellet magazine are alloy, and the ones that come with the Tornado are plastic, and they fire BBs. So the pellets go in from the back with the pellets, and the front with the BBs. Okay. So what I've done, someone wanted to know how well this thing shoots pellets. Okay, so I tried 2 BBs and 4 pellets, sending weights. These are like, I'm not sure where I got these from, but they're cheap BBs. I'm not sure exactly where I got them from. I think someone might actually gave me them. But this is the only ones I didn't chronograph. So looking at the target, each of these targets was 10 yards, rested just like the revolver is here. On the bag, using fixed sights and my reading glasses at 10 yards, so the target wasn't crystal clear, and there's a little bit of variation with my shooting. Okay, obviously, because I'm an old git. So 10 shots in each, right? So the gold BBs, right? They grouped pretty well actually around here. Yeah, these 2 over here, but the other 8 shots around there, and that's an inch. Yeah, that's a 2p piece. That's an inch group. With 8 shots, so that's pretty good. So they're like cheap BBs. These are the Umarex BBs. I did chrony these. So what we got here, you got 1.9 foot. These are over 10 shots, by the way, an average. So 1.95 foot-pounds energy, 405 velocity average, a deviation of only 13 FPS over the 10 shots, which is pretty good. This is like I gave it like a 30-second wait between each shot to allow the CO2 to stabilise, so that's pretty good. Okay, and a spread of only 3, a deviation of only 3, excuse me. So, grouping wise, as you can see, another quite decent group, yeah. All 10 shots and just outside an inch, nice and central as well. So that's using those fixed sights. I've put a little bit of white tape on the foresights that aids the aiming. But anyway, my shooting's not brilliant with the reading glasses on. So going on to the pellets, so what we've got, these are the Crossman domed, relatively cheap, you can pick these up quite cheaply. These are like, I weighed these at 7.43 grain, there's no weight on them. I took an average of 10 pellets for the weight. And as you can see, the actual grouping was pretty good. Little low, obviously, for a heavier pellet, yeah, they're heavier than the BB. But the grouping sort of pretty much to the centre, probably a little bit to the left. But a fairly decent group. I said there's one fly there, but that's probably me. Okay. Energy wise, yeah, these were doing 2.21 foot-pounds energy, average over 10 shots, 366 average velocity. The spread was fairly wide at 37, and the deviation was 12. Again, this was at 20 degrees centigrade and a 30-second wait between each shot, just to let the CO2 recover a little bit. Moving on to the exact expresses. Now these are the pellets I use for shooting most of my pellet shooters, but not in smooth bore. Okay, so you can see the group is nice actually. It's quite a nice group. Shooting to the right. Okay, this particular pellet, but still quite a decent group. Yeah, not probably as good as I thought. Energy wise, 1.8 foot-pounds energy, 325 FPS. Again, a spread of 18 and a deviation of 5, so that's pretty decent, not too bad. But these are quite expensive. Okay, so these are like twice the price of the VMX and the Furies and the Dome. So for shooting like BB like smooth bore shoot pellets, I wouldn't go for these because these are way too good to be used, way too expensive. You get 2 tins of those for one of those, and if you're just using it for plinking and a bit of like target shooting, for the smooth bore, I wouldn't use these. Okay. They're 7.87 grain. Right, moving on to the VMX, the Webley VMX pellet. Again, this actually grouped nice and central. You can see the group here. So you've got this group around there. I've probably been moving around a little bit. I've shot all these over 2-3 days. So to be honest, my eyes were getting a bit tired. But this group here, a bit nice and central. Yeah. Actually a heavier pellet at I think 8.18 grain, but still shot higher than the dome, so it must be a bit more efficient. Okay,
So yeah, pretty good. Energy wise, yeah, 2.06 foot-pounds energy through the Crony, 337 FPS average FPS, and a 43. Quite a large spread of 43, but you know, but even then, you know, that's not everything. It's the actual performance. Quite a nice performance. And then finally, the Furies. And these are BSA Furies. These weighed 8.27. Yeah, a little bit, just a fraction heavier than what the tin says at 8.17. These are actually, I picked these up cheap to try them out, and to be honest, I'm really surprised they actually shot really well. They're quite a long pellet, and they're, like I said, they're the heaviest of all of them. But you can see from this target that the group's nice and central. Yeah, I know you've got 4 there, but that could well have been me, but the main group is pretty nice. Okay. Energy wise, just over 2 foot-pounds energy, 331, also a spread of 35. So yeah, if you want a cheap pellet, obviously, because the thing about obviously steel BBs, you know, you have a ricochet issue. If you can fire pellets, lead pellets, obviously you can be a lot safer. You don't want to get the ricochets that you get off steel. You can fire them into obviously steel pellet traps. You know, especially in targets. If I was going to consider using a cheaper pellet, yeah, which I would do on this sort of revolver, I'd use the Furies and the VMX, yeah, because they're very central, just about altering the aim point, and the Crossman is a third option. But yeah, there you go. That's how I shot it. I shot the actual revolver off this bag here, just rested, just out the window at 10 yards at a small target, a funnel, and I basically just tried to keep her as still as possible. Obviously, there's a lot of variations. It was a little bit gusty as well on the days, but yeah, if you want to shoot BBs, yeah, you can get some cheap BBs. They're perfectly adequate there. But if you want to shoot pellets, which I prefer to do, to be quite honest, I'd certainly choose these 3 here. They're hard to get a hold of at the moment, but the Furies surprisingly good because these are cheaper than the VMX. So yeah, BSA Furies if you want some cheap pellets to shoot. Obviously the Crossmans, but the actual Furies definitely grouped better, I think. The VMX was the next one up, and then the Crossman were a bit low and yeah, a bit wider spread. But definitely these 2 if you want a cheap, affordable pellet to shoot out your smoothbore BBs. So I hope you like that little video. Thanks for watching.